Hello, everybody. Yes, the video was without sound, which is my mistake. I keep forgetting to input the video source sound into OBS, and I apologize. Next time we'll do better. So, how's everybody doing? I already see the chat coming up, and thank you so much for being here again. If this is your first time here in the live stream, let me know. I love to connect with people, so you being here is so good. Um, if somebody, okay, so I don't know if it is the audio or not, but I was hoping it was working. Like when I recorded a video test, it worked. Uh, I guess Corey is having problems with his headphones or audio setup, I guess. But anyway, welcome everybody. We are going to be working again on the Badger 2040W from Pi Moroni. And I kind of love the little thing so much. Um, Corey said, sure, it was my audio. I have three different outputs. Very complicated setup. Things about to happen. But anyways, let's get started. Let's review what we did last Friday for those people that didn't catch the live stream or didn't see the recording. And without further ado, oh look, my chat works good. Let me just bring this down a little bit in order to be able to read everything else in the room. So if this is your first time here, put it in chat, say hi. I love to say hi to new people. So it's really good that you're here already. I really appreciate it. So basically up top, you see the Badger. That's the device we are going to code in. I'm trying to use this little device that has Wi-Fi connection capabilities to show some maybe user data or something else. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do with it yet. But for today, I'm going to be trying to make a protected API request with it. And the API is protected by Auth0. So I'm hoping everything will work out. Let's see. Um, Oh, hi Matt. Thank you for the follow. This is great. The integrations work, and I have my gifts there. So funny. Okay, good. So let's get this started. So last time what we did basically was create a script to run inside the badge. Happy Friday, Matt. Thank you so much for coming. If ads pop up, let me know in chat because I don't know. I need to figure out how to like turn it off. I don't like ads going through my live stream because I realize people miss what I'm saying. And if I'm in the middle of explaining something, that's not helpful. But I'm trying to figure out this whole live streaming situation again because I used to do live streaming on games that I was playing, but not anymore. Today we are coding now. Let's see if this sticks because the live stream for gaming, I did it for a while and then I didn't do it anymore. Anyways, long story short. So last time what we did, basically we went to Auth0 to get the JWKS file, which is the JSON web key set. It has the information for the public keys for RS-256. In this case, I had RS-256 signed tokens. But today, since we know everything works, we already know how to get this information. I'm going to change this script a little bit. And my idea is to make a request to a protected API I deployed again this morning. So the first time I did that API, and I'm going to show what it does in a second, was 2 years ago. So my first talk at Okta, well, by then it was Auth0, but my first talk at Developer Day was about this API that I built and protected with Auth0. And the idea was to show information on a map on a page. And I wanted to be able to update the information by making protected requests to a given endpoint in that API. So my idea is I want to maybe show something or some part of that API through this badge today, and if we can make that happen, then I can work on having an API for information that I want to display in the badge after a while. So I already had this API ready, and I was like, oh, since I already have the code, I don't want to like redevelop everything right now. I want to focus on the Badger right now. so I did like, oh, let's try this one, because once I configure everything and I make sure that the API calls, the protected API calls work, I can then change my API, change all of the information that I need, like to access that API, get new access tokens and everything else, and then do have the badge display whatever I wanted to display, right? So last time we did JWKS files because I want to test it out, see if it worked, and I managed to make the request to Auth0 to get the JWKS file for my tenant. And today we are trying to get the access token, which if everything works out, we are going to be able to, and then making a protected API request to that API that I just redeployed. Without further ado, let's get things started. So, context, because I didn't want to show like my information, the whole information to get access to my application on Auth0. I put all of that inside of a .txt file here. So Auth0 underline config.txt, and I'm going to read that file and get that information, and I'm going to make my best not to print that out in the live stream to make sure I'm staying secure here, or at least trying to, while I'm developing these things. So most of the work that I like to do when I'm developing something new is I try everything and I see if it works, and if it works, then I can make it look pretty, I can make it look better, I can make the code better, and that's how my brain works, I guess, because I need to try things, see if they work, and then I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand how things are working, I can organize everything. So I already have these Auth0 config txt in my badge on my device, and right now I'm not doing anything with it, so I'm going to change the script and see if it works. But because it has been a week, things might have changed. I want to first run this and make sure that it works. And second, because I had problems with this before, like, a week pass, I don't run the script, and then the script doesn't work, and I don't know why. But anyways, hopefully this will still be working. So I guess if I reset my badge here on the top, it is going to disconnect and then show me the main menu for the badge. So basically what I did, because I didn't have an icon, a pretty icon, I copied the icon from another one of the applications inside my badge, which is, I guess, is the Net Info application here. And I put it as the JWT icon. So the badger is kind of smart, so it kind of understands which icon belongs to which script based on the name of the icon. And then if I click on the application that I want to run, is going to basically run. So if I, for example, go up, I have like fonts, help, image, I have the clock. So for example, if I put on the clock, I guess it should work. Takes a while and it's connecting. Oh, this clock is connected to the Wi-Fi. I guess break ad is going to start in 54 seconds. So hopefully, I hope it's not going to be too long. I'm figuring out the live stream, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so the clock works, and if I go back by clicking on AMC at the same time, I can go back to everything that I was doing before. So if I run like the JWT, see, that's a problem that I was having earlier. Something happens and it stops working, and I don't know why. I have to figure that out. But what I did and I realized worked was I run one other app and then run this one, and it kind of magically made everything work out. So I guess if I go to the weather one, maybe that will help. Let's see. I need to debug this a little bit to figure out why this is happening, because I really don't know. But I guess this is the first time I'm playing around with this badge, and that's supposed to be starting. It already ended. Oh my god, I don't know. Let me know if you're seeing me or if you're watching an ad in chat, please, so that I know if I need to take a break or not. But basically, I run the JWT the weather application. The weather application is doing well and is running. So let's go back and try to do the JWT again and see if it works. No, still doesn't work. Okay, so I know what I have to do to kind of make it work again. and it's basically try to run everything again and make you like, from my Thonny environment. So Thonny is the IDE that I'm using. I'm going to stop my badge. So basically I'm going to stop running the program from the badge and start running stuff from my computer. And so if I go back here, for example, all the examples are all the code that is running on the badge. So you have the same applications, badge, clock. So for example, if I run clock, if I open the clock.py file, which is the script for the clock, and if I run this, it's going to show on the badge, look, no hands. The clock running without me actually touching it. So that's one of the things that I like to do to make sure that everything's working properly. And if I stop again, I can run another thing. So let's try to run this from the IDE to see if it works. And it's requesting the URL, so it worked. Okay, so the script is not broken, but I guess maybe the version that I have on the badge was for some reason, and I need to update it, and I need to figure it out. But anyways, for developing so far, this is fine. Bear with me. So we already know that is going to Auth0 US, justtemporal.us.auth0.com, which is my tenant domain, and is grabbing the information from my JWKS file inside the well-known endpoint, and it is making a request, a GET request, very simple, nothing much about that, and that returns like the information in the body of the request, and then you can use like the JSON method from the request to get a dictionary, which for those people in chat that are from other languages like JavaScript, is basically a JSON object, but in Python. And then I can grab the information from that dictionary. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to comment a bunch of stuff and copy code around a little bit because I already know how other pieces of the scripts that I already have work, and I'm going to try to make it work for the other case scenario. So I think this is a good time for me to show you the API that I have running. Let's see if my browser, yes. So basically what I did is I developed this API called Where Have I Talked? And it's basically a collection of data points like latitude and longitude so that I can display a pinpoint in a map. And when it's deployed, you see something like this on a map. So if, for example, if I zoom in, you can see all of the talks that I given back in Brazil. And this is not updated whatsoever. I've been a few other places after I made this. But you can see like where I've been, where I talked, or everything else. So this is kind of fun. It was like a little fun project to figure out how to protect APIs. I normally don't use this for anything. It's just some information that I have in my head. But anyways, it is there, and it was really fun because if I make requests to endpoints to create new data points, I can display those data points after like the map reloads. So it's kind of fun, I guess, to figure out how to make protected API requests. And that's basically what we are going to do today. So instead of doing the requests from one of those programs like Postman or Insomnia, where you can make requests, or even like the integrations on VS Code, we are going to be doing that from the batch. At least that's my plan. We have less than an hour. Let's see if my plan works. And for those who don't know Auth0, this is not going to be a pitch on Auth0. It's just because I used Auth0 before and I love it. Let's see if I can get it done. Yeah, Corey, you were right. Like I love a challenge, you know. So this is my tenant here, the same one that we are using in configuring everything. We need a time. Oh my God, don't put timers on me. I get anxiety when I see the countdown timer because I think nothing is going to work. And then I cannot type for my life if I needed to. So basically here I have my applications, and inside applications I could have applications which would be like single page applications or regular web apps, what's it called, like, you know, with the front end and the back end. Single page applications would be just the front end, quote unquote. And then we have APIs, which is my favorite part because as a Pythonista, everything for me is an API. And I configure the API in here. So where have I talked? and I gave you like an audience, which I realized that I made a typo, but you know, me and typos are a love story. And I have other informations. So for example, one of the things that I do when I'm testing things out is I come into the test tab, and here I can see code in various options, you know, JS, PHP, Python, everything you can think of, and it's your URL of how to get access tokens for that given API. So I'm basically going to copy this over and use that inside on like my badge. So I already did copy the client ID, client secret, and so on. This is a very long string. And I have that inside of that Auth0 config file, and I'm going to read that in my my coding for the JWT application in the badge. So let's go back to Tony. And also, side note, I every time that I switch from one page to the other, I see that my Slack has messages that I haven't read yet. So if you are from work and you are trying to talk to me, I'm live streaming. I'm sorry. I will reply to you as soon as I get off live streaming mode. And so I can close clock now because I don't need it anymore. And this is the script that we are going to update. So the way you, I'm sorry, Corey. You can stay here if you want to talk something. Yeah, put it in chat. I will reply to you, but not on Slack. So let's go to example. So the way that I like to do this is because I already configured the badges for this. So the badges inside of these little devices, they have a picture and they have a .txt file, so a text file, where you read the information to display on the screen. So for example, I can even show you one. So for example, if I open, well, I need to stop first and then I can show you to you. If I open the badge.txt file here, I have my information. So this is usually what I show when I'm using this badge as part of an event. So Auth0 Biota, just T, because my name is very long, so usually doesn't look as good if I put everything in to be displayed. Dev Day at Octane is going to be in the probably the next event I'm going to. Oh no, this is a lie. I'm going to PyCon UK before I go to Dev Day at Octane. And I usually put down my handle on most social networks. So if people want to connect with me outside of the event, they can see how it's written, because I realized that my last name is not easy for some people to understand when I'm saying it. But anyways, it's there. So I'm going to use the same kind of idea to read the information from the Auth0 config file. And because I already know something that works, I'm going to copy paste from the badge.py file the process of reading a given badge information, right? So I know like this badge.py file, I'm not going to go into details how they work, but basically it reads the file and it displays the information on the screen. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit here because I know in somewhere in here, it has the part about reading the txt file and loading that information into variables. So for example, here, open the badge file with a try except. So basically you try to open the file reading, and if it doesn't work, if you get an error from your OS, which I guess probably all of my JWT code should be inside of a try except thing, so that it doesn't show the error on the badge anymore and show like a friendly message saying, hey, something went wrong, please recheck your code or something, but that comes later. And then this part here reads all the lines in that file and put everything inside of one variable each. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, try except for the open, and I'm going to put that in here somewhere. So since I'm not using classes, I'm going to define a new function to do exactly that, to do get the, I guess, the Auth0 config data. And since I want to get that data to get a, what is the name, an access token, I might want to change the names of my functions a little bit. So instead of get data, I'm going to do get access token. for this, and I'm going to do get data for the new function that I have. Now, this is not doing anything so far, but I'm just going to do a print, and because coding new things always require a beginning string, so I'm going to do a hello world, get, oh my god, I cannot type, see, get data. Oh, there you go. And if I run this, I know that I'm calling get data in the end of my file. And if I run this the way it is right now, it's probably going to break because I don't have all the variables that the get data used to do. So I'm going to also comment the draw page that uses all the variables that I needed before. And if I run this, I guess if my memory serves me well, see, I even typed hello world wrong. What is wrong with me? But anyways, it worked and it printed out the hello world. Hello world. See, now it's right. Let's run this again. And yes, ta-da! It works. Great. So let's paste that information about reading the txt file, the code, and indentation. For people that don't know Python, indentation matters a lot. If you don't do proper indentation on your file, you're going to have trouble. And I'm going to set, instead of badge path, I'm going to say Auth0 config path. I guess that's a better name, right? And Auth0 config path. And this is going to be the path for my txt file. And that is in the main directory for the badge. So basically slash, and the name of the file is this one here, and auth0 underline config.txt. There you go. And I'm going to change this, all the path names here, so that I can run. Now you may also pay attention, if you pay attention to this thing here, this has a default text. So default text is in case reading the file fails, I want it to do something, right? I want it not to break everything. So the way the badge works, it has a variable up in here somewhere. If I scroll up, default text, which is basically a string, multiple line string. So that's why it has the 3 quotes in the beginning and 3 quotes in the end. And then I can have something similar just to make sure that if something breaks, like while reading the file, I can have something there in order for my script to continue running. So I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to copy this. And now comes a trick. So you don't know this because I haven't shown you the file, and I'm not going to because it has client secrets and I don't want that to be on the internet for the world to see. But there are 4 pieces of information, if I'm not mistaken, inside of the auth0.config, and I have a something that I can look at, a cheat sheet of sorts, and I'm going to copy that information in here. So the full text, so basically it's client ID first, client secret second, audience, and grant type in the end. So these are the all 4 lines, and this is basically the same formattation for, and I guess I don't have a blank line, so the same formattation for the dictionary. So I'm going to change this a little bit. So client ID, client secret, audience, and grant type. And I keep thinking maybe I should figure out the shortcuts for Tony so that I can stop typing like I don't know how to type, which is starting to bug me a little bit, but that comes next. So that way, every time that I cannot read the file, it is going to use this as the values for each of the variable that I want. So next step is to actually read the lines from the txt file that I'm doing. So let's just bring the chat in case you're talking to me and not seeing it. And I don't have all of these details, so I'm going to start by first removing all of these comments that I don't need, and second by editing everything. Oh, I just realized that I also don't want to keep calling the information from Auth0 config as badge. So I'm going to change this to Auth0 underline config, because I like the names of my variables to be as descriptive as possible. Because after a while, you know, when I'm back coding this next week, my memory, like I'm like Dory, so I don't remember things very well. I can rely on the code that is written to help myself and know what I was trying to do, right? So here, instead of badge, I'm going to do Auth0 config. And I think I only have 4 lines of information, so I'm going to leave these other ones. And following the same name here, I'm going to change the name. So client ID, client secret, and what was the other one? Audience. And I think this is branch type. Yes. Woohoo. Short-term memory works great. Long-term, that's the problem. Okay. So now this is reading things. So I know for a fact that it's safe for me to show you at least branch type and audience. So I want to run this again, and I want to print out, instead of hello world now, I want to print out at least grant type to see if it works. So let's print grant type. Jesus. And if we run soft reboot, client credentials, yes, it works. Yay, I'm happy. What else? Okay, now I have my client ID, client secret, client audience, and grant type. What else do I need to do? So I need to do the request to get the access token. That's the plan, right? So if we go back to Auth0 dashboard, Auth0 dashboard actually shows you how to do this. So you make a request of the method post and to the URL of the OAuth token, and then you apply the header that is content type application JSON. I probably need this somewhere, stored somewhere in my variable. And then you pass along as the data of the request, the client ID, client secret, the grant type, and the audience. And the order here doesn't really matter because it is a dictionary, and Auth0 is going to read that in whichever way you send it back. But I like to follow the same order as much as possible, so, you know, I can remember what I'm doing. So let's add the information of the header in here somewhere as Auth0 config path. Oh, hello, QHMD808. Thanks for the follow. I'm glad you joined. Happy that you're here. I really am. And let's save this as header data. So I don't know if you have any other ideas for names, but if you do, put that in chat. I'll change this from something else if you want it to have say something better. But since I'm not very creative for variable names, I try to be descriptive, and so I know this is the header data that I need to pass along. And I want to make the request, but okay, so this gets the data from my Auth0 config file, and I need to make this available to the rest of my script. So I'm going to use the same way that we were using before and use the global and define these variables as global in the beginning of my function. So I'm going to come in here, and this is not badge, this is Auth0 config. Read the next 4 lines. And global, and I want client ID, and client secret, and audience, and print. It was too good to be true. I thought it was like, oh, no typos this time. No, I always make typos. Okay, so now I can access this from everywhere else in my script. And since I don't need to print this out, what I'm going to do is actually going to move this print for the other function to make sure that the information is available inside my other function. Jesus. And here we are. And the first thing I'm going to do is going to, oh no, not this one. Print. And I want to say, going to type again. And I probably don't need this anymore, so I'm going to comment this out. I'm also commenting out this and this and this. And this is going to make a request for the URL, but it's not the URL that I want. So I need to update the URL up top in the beginning of my script too. So let's do one thing at a time. Let's first add this to the end of my script so that it gets called when we run this. So get data and then get access token. And I'm going to also put a print message inside of the beginning here saying something. Hello from the get access token and exclamation point because I'm very excited for this to run. And soft reboot, hello from the access token. Oh, look, it works and it is passing the URL, but not the URL that we want. We need to change that. And the data is obtained and information was reloaded inside of the batch. So that's good, I guess. Things are still working, at least for now. Well, this is not reloaded because I didn't do a draw page, so it's not reloading. This is just what it was showing before, right? Maybe we could do a clear the, what is the name? Clear the screen. Oh, thanks, Xavi. I'm going to drink water. I was about to do that anyways. But thank you for the, what is the name of this thing? I don't know how it called. But when people send you the request, I guess. Yes. So hydration. My little Auth0. Little no, I think he holds up to 700 milliliters. So thank you. Water. I'm hydrated now. Very important. If you are watching this, drink your water. Believe me, it is better to drink water than to have kidney stones. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so the function that we were working on works. They are a good thing, or you were right. Like water breaks are very important and a good thing. The other type of break I like is to go for a walk. But since I'm, live streaming, I cannot go for a walk right now. So after this, I'm probably going for a walk before I start working on making lunch. Yes. So this uses uRequests, which is one of the libraries that you can use to make requests. And here it is doing a get URL. But if we look closely at my Auth0 dashboard, we know we need to do a post post request, not a get request. So I'm not too familiar with this library. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the documentation. So let's open my Google Chrome, another page, and new requests, MicroPython, and oh, look at that, Redadocs. I love Redadocs so much. So the function we were using right now for getting the JWKS is uRequest.get, this one. So you just pass the URL and it's going to do its magic. You can also pass along optional parameters with like this thing. And for those who don't know Python, this basically means that you can pass them as a dictionary and it's going to be unpacked. So for example, if you have a function that takes more than one parameters, like here, the request function. Let me just zoom in because, better to read. So the uRequest function takes method URL, and those are non-optional values that you need to pass. That's the minimal thing that you need to pass for this function. But you could pass this either as post as the string and the URL you wanna make the post to, or get and the URL you want to do the get to. Or you could put everything inside of a dictionary and say the key is method and the value is post or get or patch or delete or whatever method you want. And the URL as another key and the value the URL you want to make the request to. And then if you do double asterisks, you can unpack the dictionary. So this is one of the cool things that you can do. Let's say if you want to pass along things on your functions and you don't want to necessarily write them out, or if let's say something inherited from something, that's another way that you can do that too. So basically you can look at the thing that is being inherited from and see what are the optional parameters you can pass along. But okay, so I could do a post instead of a get because we need to do a post to the Auth0 endpoint. But I would prefer probably to do the request and pass along all of the information all at once. Yeah, I guess that sounds better. What do you think? Should we do a urequest.post or should we do a urequest.request? Decisions. Okay, what is the difference? Let's say send a post. You say dot post. Corey says dot post. Does anybody disagree? Does everybody agree? Yeah, I guess I like the dot post too. Send a post request. Return type is the response of a request. Parameters URL. Request optional parameters. What are the optional parameters? Same as here. Data, JSON, headers. Okay. I guess we can try to do a post. It's easier to understand the intent with a post. But if you do a request, you can always like method is going to be the first thing. So you can always you say that is a post in there. I guess it's just a matter of how you prefer to write it. So for example, let me go back to my IDE. So you could write urequests dot post and put the URL in, or you could write urequests dot request and say that you want to do a post and pass along the URL. Which one do you prefer? You think reading dot post is faster than the method? Because I need to understand exactly what you just explained. I see your point. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, let's do the dot post then. So okay, I'm going to comment this out and I'm going to say that I have a response from the post and the URL. Now, I know this is making the wrong URL, so let's change that. Let's go back in here. And before we had HTTPS, the domain for the Auth0 tenant, which I have, which is JSON US Auth0.com, and it was going through the well-known JWKS JSON. Now what I want is the endpoint that ends with OAuth token. And how do I know this? Because, well, wrong browser. Because inside of my Auth0 dashboard, it shows it here. Look at that. Auth0/token. And you could see the code for Python, although I prefer to read it this way. But for example, for Python, it has the same thing. So it has the domain in here, the payload, the information, the headers that I need to pass along. And see, at the documentation of Auth0, Kari, we do the connection.request instead of .post. But I don't know if like the connection, like HTTP client does have a .post option. I think that it does, but I don't remember. We can check that later if we want to. And then you pass along the payload and the headers, right? So we're going to do this basically the same thing, but instead of using the connection from the HTTP client, we are going to use the uRequest, which is just a different library. And I guess it is specific for MicroPython, I would say. It's probably lighter than other libraries like requests and HTTPX. So if you're curious on the Python ecosystem, requests, Python, this is one of the libraries possible. So this is requests. And we have HTTPX Python, which is the other one. And to be honest, this is my favorite one. That's the one that I normally use, unless people already use to requests. So I can, or the project already uses requests. So I tend to go to requests instead. But it functions basically the same way. So you use the library.get or .post or whatever. And same thing for requests. You can do .get, .post, or you can build the requests before and then do the other stuff. Okay, I just realized that my browser is bigger than, like, it's being covered for part of the badge, but anyways, we'll get there. Which is probably why you're not seeing everything here. Let's see. Okay, maybe I could make it this a little bit like this. Ah, look at that. Yes. So here are all the methods for the function. So let's do .post, and then I want to pass along the data and the headers. Now, I never know if all of this is the same thing. Like, it always passes on the request body. Oh, hi, Corbin. How are you doing? Thank you for coming. Oh my god, I got a raid. I'm so excited. Fubar KIX, thank you for coming. Hi. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? Glad you're all here. Okay, so let's go back and let's make this request. So where were we? Oh yes, the domain. Let's fix this domain. I'm going to comment this out and I'm going to copy pasting here. I love copy pasting stuff so much. Sometimes that get me into trouble, but you know, /token. And that should make the post request to the Auth0 token endpoint. Oh, hi learner 0418. Nice to meet you. Well, not meet you, but see you again. Little detail here. Before I started my own live stream today, I was watching Corbin's live stream, which is always fun. He's always has high energy, which is great. Even though it was like maybe 6 a.m. for you in the morning. I'm not a 6 a.m. person. I'm a 10 a.m. person. But yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, thanks for coming. I'm so excited. Okay, so I fixed the URL, so I guess this is the correct URL. So what I'm going to do is I want to see this print out here to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes, and I don't want it to make the request just yet or to print out anything else. So comment this and rerun this script. And oh, R is undefined. Yeah, I know why. Oh yeah, here. So let's run this again. No sleep Saturday. Yeah, it's Friday. It's still. Thank God it is, but I mean, hold on. I still have a lot of work to do today. Don't cut on my Friday. I need my Friday. Oh, so you make the request. Look, well, not made the request, but it printed out the information from the URL. I guess I can remove the client relations print and the hello from the get access token too. So let's get rid of this. We know that is working. So far, so good. And let's get back to doing our request. So we wanted to pass along the post URL. We need headers. So do we have headers in the optional parameters for this thing? Oh, wrong browser again. Jesus. I need to close my Safari, I guess. Let me close this so it doesn't bug me. Yeah, now we got it. what is true? I guess I missed something. Oh, thank you. I put a lot of effort into it. Uh, okay, where? Taking care of your body is always very important. Yes, for me, taking care means I need to eat at proper times and I need to sleep at least 8 hours every night. So I wake up every day around 6:30, which is very early, but that's because I need probably 3 or 4 hours to be a person again. So yes, I wake up early. I have my breakfast. I start very slowly to doing everything. Oh, so I'm not building a website in the backend. No, what I'm doing is, oh my god, my stream chat. No, what I'm doing is I'm coding this thing in the top here. I do have a website. We are trying to make a, no, not a website, but an API that is protected without zero. And my goal for today is try to make the request from one of the protected endpoints from the thing up here. So the thing up here is a badge, a digital badge with e-ink from Pimoroni, and it has Wi-Fi capabilities. So it's the Badger 2040. And what I'm doing is basically relying on the Wi-Fi and making a request to Auth0 right now to get the access token so that I can make requests to my protected API that has information like, what is it here? So it's a map, but the endpoints that are protected allows me to add information to this map. So this is actually just an excuse. My idea is to have another API that I can use that is protected to show other information from the badge. But since I already had this laying around and the API that I want to use for showing information in the badge I haven't developed yet, I guess it was a good thing to have in place to figure this out and then develop the API on the future live stream probably. We are building some website backend. No, not today at least. Yes, Carbine, thank you for coming. Take care. Sounds so much fun. Well, I'm having fun. I don't know about other people watching me, but I'm guessing yes too. So I'm kind of got into I kind of got into all of these little devices this year, to be honest. And I love these little ones because it allows me to code in Python. Most other things like this normally are other languages like C or C++, if you're lucky. So this one is Python capable, which is why one of the reasons that I love it. And I also like to sprinkle some identity on it. And if you're coming for Developer Day, good chances are I'm going to have a few of these laying around. So for those that just joined from the raid, oh, hi. Hi, Hamdan. Joining from the raid. Okta every year does Octane, which is our biggest conference on identity. And for the first time this year, we have a special something happen for developers. So we have the developer experience at Octane. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to be there if everything goes according to plans. We are probably going to have an ad break in about a minute. So once ads are done, let me know. So we're going to have the developer keynote. We doing Dev Day at Octane. So Dev Day at Octane, for those who don't know, is the developer relations team at Okta in Okta and Auth0. We craft Developer Day to help developers figure out identity because we know it's not that easy. So we have a bunch of developer sessions. We have hands-on workshops and architecture reviews, and my favorite piece, the developer community zone, which is where you'll probably find me working on these little things, and you might get one. Thank you, Kari, for coming. See you soon in any meeting that we might have today. I don't know if we have any meetings, but anyways, yes. So this is Developer Day at Octane. It's going to be in the beginning of October. Truly recommend you go if you have the chance in San Francisco. So yeah, this is us. I might play the video again soonish. So okay, enough about the company I work for. Let's go back to what we were doing. What was it? Where were we? Okay, so I need to pass along the headers. So I was going to check the documentation to see if I could pass along the headers because I didn't know. Oh, you can. Of course you can. You know, silly me. Uh, being from a small town means no access to confs. What about online confs, learner? So I think I could be wrong. I'm not sure if I should say this, but I think we're going to have an online experience. And if you're curious, all the past developer days, all of the videos are online somewhere. What is the link? I guess developerday.com. Yes. So here we are talking about this is Developer Day at Octane, but if you go to past events, you have Dev Day 23, which is this year, 22 and 21. So if you go to any of these, you should probably see the session. So for example, 2021 was actually the first talk that I given in the name of Auth0 and Okta. So here, actually, this API that I'm using as like the starting point for this project is, I walk you through that here. I guess I can put the link for Developer Day in chat to make it easier, right? Can I paste this here? Did I copy? I don't think I copied. Copy. And paste. No, Jesus. Let me type it out. Developerday.com. Yes, good. Yeah, so I love that you can see all of the content from past years online. So this is 2021, was the first edition of Developer Day. It was in person mid-pandemic. So 2022, it was online because of the pandemic. In 2022, we did in person. So we have a bunch of content here. I guess I did a talk too on JSON Web Tokens. So if you don't know much of JSON Web Tokens, or if you want to learn more how JSON Web Tokens work, I recommend watching that one. I given this talk at other Python events. So if you are very Python focused, you can look for the same talk at EuroPython or PyCon US. You're going to see kind of the same content, but with Python in it. This doesn't have any Python in it because the audience for Developer Day is more general. And for 2023, I didn't give any talks, but I was managing the in-person experience here in Toronto, or Toronto, if you're local, where I live. But we had great, amazing developer content. I watched all of these before. I truly recommend great quality content. So check it out. I'm guessing you're going to love it. But if you have the chance to travel, do go to San Francisco in the beginning of October. Let's see each other at Octane. Oh my God, 3 minutes to 11. I don't think we're going to be able to make the request to the API. I think that's going to be a future live stream problem. Oh my God. So let's pass along the information that I need. So post is the URL, and then I need to pass along the data and the headers. Okay, let's see. Headers, it needs to be a dictionary. So I need to change this to a dictionary. So content type, and it's going to be of type application JSON. And because this is a small dictionary, I'm going to do one line. I apologize in advance. And I want to use header data. And lastly, but not least important, I need to pass along the client ID, client secret, audience, and grant type. So all of these go inside the body of the request. And there are two ways I can do this. I can do either data, which is sent in the request body, or I can do JSON, which is JSON data also sent in the request body. So I think I'm going to go with data because I can do a dictionary instead of doing JSON, because my guess is, and I could be wrong, but my guess is JSON means that we need a string in the JSON format, which I could do with the JSON library. But since I don't want to do any conversion, I'm going to use data instead of JSON. Let's see if that works. Hopefully that will work. And I need to make this into a dictionary. So what I'm going to do is, instead of doing all of this, I should have just done Auth0 request data and turn this into a dictionary. Normally, I wouldn't do global and do a variable. I would make this function return something and then the return be inside of a variable. But I'm breaking the rules today. I'm feeling like that. So let's turn this into a dictionary. What is the way to do that, Jess? You might ask. So the way that I like to do it might not be the best way, but it's like how I like to do it. I'm going to say, because I know it needs this information, so I'm going to say client ID, and I'm going to pass along this variable as the value. And Python is going to do what Python does, and it's going to be the string inside there. And I'm going to do the same thing for client secret. Oh, I didn't copy. Jesus, secret. And client secret, my variable, comma, and I don't like when this is floating for some reason. So audience, and last but not less important, grant type, and grant type. Do I need the command in here? I don't think so. Okay, so now we have the auth0 request data. That is a global variable. I'm not going to print this out because it has information that I should keep secret, like the client secret. And I can pass data here as the auth0 request data. And let's see, does this gives me an... Okay, so after that, I need to put the information from the request into another variable. And I could do print res, and this is res, not r, to see if this is actually a request type. I could do type request res to see if it's the type that I expect. Let's see this. Let's see if something breaks. I'm hoping not. Oh, something broke. Object with buffer protocol required. Where? So line 101, where I was calling something. I was probably calling the get access token in the end of my file here. 101. Yes, look at that. But the actual line that gave me the problem is line 60 here. Get access inside of that get access token method. Let's see, line 60. So this is a problematic. What is going on that is line 60 get access file object with buffer protocol required. Where? It doesn't tell me which of the variables should be an object with a buffer protocol. Okay. I'm guessing either headers or data is the problem. One of these two. Let's see. Headers, dictionary to be sent with the request. It is a dictionary. Data, dictionary, tuple list, will be form coded, okay, byte or class file object sent in the request body. Can I do type of things instead of, okay, let's comment this out and let's try figure out what's wrong. Yeah, no protector requests today. Unfortunately, you're going to have to turn in 2 weeks. So before, okay, so we're already over time. What is the time that I had planned on this? I'm going to spend a little bit more time trying to debug this and see what's wrong. But before I let you go, if you want to, is I just want to say, like, next week, I'm trying to do these live streams every Friday around 10 EDT or EST, depending on what time zone we are at the moment. But the problem is I still travel for work from time to time. So next week we don't have live stream. I'll be traveling to Chicago for a work event, but the week after next I'm back. And keep an eye on Twitter or Blue Sky, on Mastodon, on LinkedIn, wherever we are connected, to check out when I'm live again. Or, since you followed me here, make sure that you have your Twitch notifications activated so that you receive a notification when I'm back online again. But okay, let's try to debug this. Let's see what's going on. What is the print type of, I want header data, and I want do the same thing for the Auth0 request data. And if I run this script, I could have typed something wrong. Everything's a dict. Okay, res is undefined. I know. What is oh, here. Okay, run again. Everything's a dict, as it should. So why is this thing complaining to me that the thing is not working? What if we did a post without passing everything else? It should break, but it should not give the problem, right? So let's close this. It should say, oh, you're missing the credentials or something. Okay, so class dict. Oh, I'm doing the request, yes. So it's supposed to be doing the request. It didn't print out an error, so I guess that's good. Oh, maybe it already ran and I don't know. Okay, ooh, wait. Oh my god, let's try to print this. Oh my god. I think it worked. I think it's something with the parameters that I put there. Let's see. Can I do this? It is going to be mad about it because it doesn't have like a JSON data. Oh, he spawns JSON object at, okay, he made a request. So this is what we get when we reference an object and on like printing the thing without doing anything with it. So let's try printing the JSON object of this. We should get an answer back saying, oh, you did something wrong. That's at least what I expected to do. Look, see, you did something wrong. Error description, unauthorized. Oh, look, ha, I still got it because it has been a while since I did this request. So this is good. What are we missing though? Okay, so we have a dictionary here. Could it be that this dictionary has a problem? It could be that this dictionary has a problem. So I'm going to do a thing. I'm going to do this, but I'm also going to do this. And this is going to overwrite the first one because I don't want to show you information you shouldn't be able to see. It may be the way that I'm doing this, like this, might be wrong. I need to probably do an F string top, maybe. I was about to speak Portuguese, by the way. So this is supposed to still be a dictionary. So let's run this. So it's still a dictionary. I think I can remove this print here. I don't need it anymore. Okay, I'm going to clean this up a little bit because I'm getting tired of seeing all these comments, random comments and prints everywhere. So I don't need to print out the response. I know that it is a response object. Okay, that's good. So the data showed me that we had an error because when you do a request to that endpoint, if you don't put in the right credentials or don't put in any credentials at all, that's what I did, you're going to get an access denied, which makes sense. Okay, that's why I can show you the URL and it doesn't really matter because you don't have the credentials that I do. So requests post URL and it's giving an error. And okay, we need to check. I can print this out instead of type. Instead of type, I don't need to know if it is a dictionary because we already know that. So let's run this. So it is, okay, so it is working as I expected it to. So instead of showing the value in there, it is showing client credentials. Like instead of showing the variable, it's showing the client credentials value. So it is the string that I was expecting it to. Let's try to add in the headers and see if it gives out the same error. So headers, and I'm going to comment this part and close the function. Dun, dun. And let's see if it breaks. Then we can figure out which one it is. Okay, didn't break. And okay, so it's not the header. It could be the data. Okay, that was my guess. I don't know why though. Let's see. Going to type. See? Oh, so it's the data. For sure it's the data. So maybe we should do JSON instead? Can I just pass a dictionary to the JSON since it doesn't say anything about it? Let's try. You know, doesn't hurt to try, does it? Does anybody has any clue why? I may need to take a look at the code for the library to see what is expected to do. Okay, so it got an, oh, it didn't give an error. So I guess that's fine. But it also didn't say that is unauthorized. So my guess is, oh, I know why the problem is. It doesn't have the credentials that it needs to, right? So let's first remove this print, and remove this part because I don't want to show you, like I didn't want to show you this, the print because I don't want to show you my secrets. A secret should stay secret, otherwise it's gossip and gossip gets everywhere. So let's try to run this along and see if it gets me the access token back. Requesting URL unauthorized, access denied. Oh my god, did I put stuff wrong? I could have. At least it's not breaking anymore. So maybe, okay, so I guess I know what is happening. So the JSON thing is expecting a TXT file, a string in the format of JSON with escaped quotes and unquotes. Passing the dictionary, I guess, is not working as I expected to show it the body. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to do a comment and I say, figure out why the JSON parameter is not working. And as a note to myself. And what I'm going to do is, since next week I'm off, when we are back online in 2 weeks, we will figure it out together. I gotta be honest though, I won't be able to sleep without figuring this out, but I don't think it's fair for me to consume all your time trying to figure this out on the live stream. So I'm going to stop the live stream right here. We did a great progress today. We already know how to get the information from Auth0. We already know how to put everything inside of a file and read the file to use that. It could be that this, oh, I know what it is. I have a guess of what it is. It could be that this string has a /n in the end. Okay, this is easy to test out. Can I do a strip? So this is going to remove a, so because it's each line in a text file ends with enter, so to go to the next file, right? So I'm going to try to remove that. This is easy to test out, so if this is the case, it might work. No, it's still the problem. So yeah, I'm going to figure this out and we'll be back in maybe 2 weeks. See you soon. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate you all being here. Bye. Stopping streaming. Oink.